Welcome to London's crazy gangster, me, Mr. Fish. I keep it that bad Bible where all the rules of society are thrown, tossed, and washed away. Great. Today I'm going to talk about prison, and prison life, Now, prison's a funny part of the game, It makes me laugh because, see, prison's the one part of the game that players in the game don't like. I never understand why. I mean, come on. It's called cops and robbers. That's the game. And if cops catch you, you have to give your hand to them and shake hands, go to court, let the judge give you your slap and say thank you and march. I mean, that's the game, man. But a lot of people, they don't like the game. So I'm going to try and explain the game. And prison, is an important part of the game because that's where it ends when it all goes wrong. Yeah. So the first time I went to prison, 1983, the problem was for me was prison for me was an escape from the harsh discipline that my mum and dad dished out to me when I was young, as a form of discipline. But sometimes I've done nothing wrong and I was still disciplined. And so prison for me was an escape. And so the first time I got on that prison bus, got arrested, I got on that bus, mate, it was like a sense of adventure, you know what I'm saying? Sense of adventure, man. It was just mad. And, I remember now, at this time, I just started to learn how to fight. Remember I told you the two policemen, I told you me and my two pals, Patrick Williams and Robert Williams, I was with them and they were throwing fireworks under the subway. I'm a public school boy, so I didn't throw fireworks. But we got stopped by two policemen as we came up the stairs of the subway in Elephant and Castle. And they asked Patrick and Robert Williams their names. Patrick said Patrick Williams, Robert said Robert Williams. And the police asked if they were brothers. They said no. So the police said, "Are you married?" Crash, yeah. Now, when they said, "Are you married?" The police and Patrick and Robert all started laughing. Now, this was during '83, so there was still the racial tension in the air. Yeah? So me being a public school boy, I'm thinking, I don't want the police to think that I'm anti-police or that because I've never have been anti-police. So I thought I laughed as well, and the police just smashed the fuck out of me. And so then I thought, well, if all the people are hurting me, my mum and dad are hurting me, the police are hurting me, and all the people are supposed to, then, in the end, you have to defend, you have to do something yourself. And that's when I turned to Psychopaths Anonymous. I thought, that's it. I don't care who you are, how many of you are, where you come from, what you do, what you know. If it's on, it's on. And that is, and it's funny, isn't it? It's funny when you get bullied and hurt all the time. It's funny when you make that mad decision, how mad and strong, if you handle it right, it ain't mad how mad. I mean, look at me. All this you see is from a young kid who was bullied and disappointed with his life. That's what you see here. All this has come from that, And so prison, that for me was at the time, it was an adventure. I was in the bus, little sweat box, you're cooped in. But I loved it, I was away from the harsh discipline. It was an adventure. I've never been to prison. I wasn't really a criminal. Never robbed or done anything. We was at Queensway. We robbed the jewellers. It was at the time of the riots. 300 Old Bill lined the road. We were here. The Old Bill were there. We both stopped. And then one of my boys ran. And as he ran, a policewoman went to nick him. So I hit her over there with two pool balls. That was because that's all I carried at the time. I didn't hit her because I was anti-police or anything. I never have been. It was just I had them and they was not. And it was on. It was just a war. You know what I mean? But nothing else. Never been anti-police. Wouldn't be anti-police. We need the police. I've always said it. That's it. End of story. And some people, well, those people that don't like the police and hate the police, and some people do have good reason to be like. But for the majority, imagine you trying to go out at night with no police. Imagine your kids go you know, you go missing, you got nowhere to go. Imagine your grandparents, right, got Alzheimer's or dementias, and they go missing, you know. Imagine your wife, your husband, walking the dog, and all of a sudden they go missing, and they've drowned in the river, and you don't know, and they're like, please, whether you like it or not, the majority are the good guys. Where's that? That's the end of the story, yeah. Okay, so when I crash, yeah, I've gone to prison, yeah, and I forgot the first name, I think it's Ashford. And while I'm in prison, I met my boy, yeah, PN, he knows who he is. You know, so we were both prison virgins, innit? So they stuck us together. So that's how it used to work. If you hadn't done bird and someone else on the same bus hadn't done bird, they usually put you together so you won't pick up any old tricks or habit. So anyway, I forgot, I think it was in Ashford, were we, P? Was it Ashford? Yeah, I think it was. And Crash House, your father. Me and P were banged up together. And I remember one, and I've said these stories before, but the problem I have is these stories are all in different parts. I've got a new phone, I've got new subscribers, so I'm doing them again, and then I'm going on to TikTok. So I'm just waiting for someone to show me how to use TikTok. And say, yeah. So that's why I'm bringing all these stories back in one form, because all the other stories were in 2 parts, 3 parts due to the phone. So Crash out of prison, Ashford, and as I told you, I got Ashford, I was still disciplined, and all of a sudden, Crash House, your father, Crash House, your father, we came out, it was association, we were all, Ashford at that time was a YC, so that stood for youth custody, so it just switched from the Borstal era, the detention centre era, to the YC era, and Ashford was YC, me and Paul were there, and one day while me and P was going out to association, Crash House, your father, Paul had shut the door, and Crash House, your father, an officer came up to asked, Paul had shut the door, and he asked another officer if he could open the door so he could collect his radio. I'm not sure why Paul wanted to collect. He was going to association. I don't know if it was allowed, but anyway, he wanted to collect his radio. He got his radio, and Crash House, your father, he shut the door. But as he shut the cell door, another officer, yeah, you know, you get them mad officers, like a psycho one, yeah. You know, you remember, yeah. When officers do places like HMYO, Aylesbury, Portland, any youth custody, Nick, yeah, Feltham, you remember them officers got to be ready for war, because them kids, ooh, them young prisoners, they're on it. On it. Oh, the kids can have the wars. Cry. Yeah. Oi, on it. So anyway, so the officers have got to be on it. So Crash House, your father, yeah. So Paul shut the door, yeah. And another officer, who I think was our landing officer, wing officer, yeah? But the different landings on a wing, and he was our landing officer. And he came, and he came along, and he shouted at Paul. He goes, "What are you doing? Open your door and get your radio." And so me and Paul, we weren't in the game at this time, you get me? We were just peanuts, you know what I mean? But I mean, now, we're just monkey nuts. Or was it coconuts? So anyway, yeah. So this officer had a go at Paul. Well, so Paul said, "Oh no, it's okay, sir." I asked another officer, and he said it was okay. And so the officer went to Paul, "Right, well, next time you ask him, you speak to him properly." Now you have to remember, yeah. This officer, yeah. Listen, mate, he weren't even in earshot when Paul asked the other officer to open the cell door. So, how do you know whether Paul spoke to the officer properly? And secondly, if Paul did not speak to the officer that opened the cell door for him to get his radio, if Paul did not speak to that officer properly, then that officer, yeah, would have berated Paul himself. He didn't need you to come along. So because Paul was a little bit timid in those days, I was timid, but just I hate seeing bullies, you know. And so I said to this officer, "Hold on, mate. Hang on, let's just get this right. Yeah? I'm only I was only like 19, 20 at the time. I said, let's get this right, yeah. If Paul, yeah, did not, yeah, talk to the other officer, yeah, then it was for the other officer to say, Paul, but just because you got the hump, because you wanted to come along and give Paul a hard time, and now Paul was giving you a good reason, a good excuse as to why he had his rage and opened the door, you got the right hump. I said, you know what, yeah, mate, there's no need for it. So the officer, because you know, as I told you in them days, 83, racial tension was still in the air by police and prison officers and the Crown. It was just the way it was. There's no big deal. That was just life, yeah. And so the officer tried to attack me, but as I told you, after being beat up by the police I went and lay guard, take taekwondo, you know, martial arts, and so I'd become so he tried to knee me, but I grabbed him and pushed him against the wall, and he blew the whistle. Now, the whistle, for those of you who haven't been to prison, the whistle is the alarm. And in them days, it's a bit different now, because now they got white shirts and they come from all different jobs now. Anyone can be a prison officer now, yeah. But in them days, they were all predominantly white. You never saw a black police officer in them, prison officer in them days, and they was all, you know, 6'7", built like brick shit houses. And I'm going to be honest with you, wow, you know. And then down the block they had the slit hats, yeah. So the hats came down just above the eyes. They were all built like pit bulls or staffs, little stuff. Yeah, mate. And they were on it. They were the disciplinarians, yeah. So anyway, when I hit this officer, he hit the alarm. Oh, the whistle. Oh, who knows that? The prison boy, you know. Oh. And they all come running. Now, on many of the floors on the landing in prison, for those of you who've never been in prison, yeah, a lot of the floors are they're made well, but they create sound. So when those prison officers come, it sounds like a fucking train. It sounds like an army coming up. Yeah. All you can hear is that on the floor. That's all you can hear, yeah? And so crash, yeah. So anyway, the train's coming. They've now bent me up, and you know when you're sitting, when you get bent up, head down, holding your head. They took me to the block, yeah. So when you go to the block in a prison or segregation unit, some people call it segregation unit, some people call it a block. You know what I mean? And that's where prisoners get sent if they're misbehaving on normal location, yeah. So then they send them there. And crash out your father. So I went down the block, and then I had to go to adjudication. Now, adjudication, for those of you who haven't been to prison, is like a courtroom for prisoners. And so, in my case, you know, an officer tried to jump me. I tried to defend myself, and they've come. He blew the whistle, the alarm. So they've nicked me, which is just like they nick you, take you down the block, and then you have to go to the governor. Now, the governor who runs the prison, or they got assistant governors. They got the main governor, and they got different governors of the wings, and whoever has to be governor that day, in the adjudication. So he's like the judge. Now, in those days, for those of you who know the coup, yeah, I remember, the governor, right, would be sitting there, yeah. Be a big chief. Remember they used to have the chief in them days, the big chief guy. He was, mate, he was always like 9'7", wasn't he? Built like he was built like an absolute fucking brick shit out. He was on it. And then you had the little block, the block screw, you know, the central, all like that. Staffs, yeah. And they could all roll, you get me? And so I'm now my adjudication. And these officers, yeah, they're going, but to me, yeah, crash out your father, yeah. Here we go again. Cry. I don't know where my Harry Potter ones. I've lost the wand and everything. Cry. So anyway, yeah, the governor, yeah, he's like the judge, yeah. So crash. I'm in front of the governor, and he's guarding. But to me, yeah, I found it quite funny because You know, I'm not causing no trouble. My hands, man. I'm respectful and these things. Like, waiting to pounce on you any time. I'm like, man. Like, so I was laughing kind of thing. Not laughing loud. You know what I mean? Like, like, you know, like, not like that. Not like that. You know that well. What's going on here? Like, yeah, so they crash, yeah. So when I've had to adjudicate the governors now, because they changed the charge, you see, he attacked me. I defended myself, but this is like prison, yeah, prison life, baby. But now I attacked him. You know, I attacked him. That history was I attacked him for no reason. I didn't obey the rules. I weren't listening to officers. So the governor gave me 21 days down the block. Yeah, that's cool. Racial tension days. That's how the officers were. That's life. You get me? It's their ship, their rules, so on. So I went down and now, crash. I'm in there, and these block screws said to me while I'm in there. They said, all right, Sooty, now, kids, that's what I do these days. Kids, for those of you who don't know, or adults who don't know what Sooty is, Sooty used to be, if you just Google it or go on YouTube and ask for, Sooty was a little bear, like I think a white bear with black ears, and a puppet show on the telly. There was something else, but you know, so Sooty was always referred to as you always refer as a black fella, you know, like, yeah, all right, Sooty, you know, because he was covered in soot, you know. From the chimney, soot there. Soot makes you black, sooty. So I said to them, they said, all right. They're like, all right, mate. What was all that about? Laughing at us, yeah? All right, sooty. So I said, nothing, Muppets. And, mate, I've said this before, and it was quite funny because crashed. Oh, mate, listen, they grabbed me, yeah. Oh, mate. I mean, mate, I know I could fight them days, but mate, not these boys. These boys were all fucking steroid busters. You get me? Robo got me on it. You know what I mean? You know, like pit bulls and straps. You know, like when they got a grip, they don't let go. These prison officers are the same, yeah. So they crash, yeah. So when I said Muppets, oh mate, they've just crashed me, yeah, on the floor. And they got the metal truncheons, and they just started hitting all the joints, yeah, joint, yeah, with ankles as well, with their truncheons, yeah. I was screaming, yeah. I swear down. You know, it's quite funny. Of all the fights and all the hurt and all the pain that I've gone through in life, I think that was the most hurtful thing I've ever endured. I'm not gonna laugh now, but oh my God, woo, did it? God, yeah, I was your father on it. So anyway, I'm lying down the block now. I can't move, something like that. Yeah, can't move, mate. 3 or 4, I just couldn't move. I've never been in so much pain. Normally down the block in the segregation, normally the governor's supposed to come in each day and check on you. But where I was in so much, he just didn't bother because he knew if he had came to that door to check on me and I was in that bit, and I said, oh, he'd have to then either investigate or give me a complaint form. You know, I mean, look, listen, prison was the same as that here. If they want to kill you, they kill you. That's it. End of story. And nothing you, your family, or anything can say. It's done. They want to kill you, they kill you, and you just have to accept whatever they say. And if they don't want you to go to the ombudsman or what has he got, a complaint form, believe me, you ain't going to the ombudsman and you ain't signing no complaint form. You hear me? It's their ship, their world, their laws, their rules, their game, baby. Boom, done. Yeah. So anyway, I was there 21 days and I came out, and it was funny because when I came out, another thing that happened to us was to me rather. I do apologise to you. So the day I came out of the block, I went back to Paul, and funny enough, it was gym. You know, you all know yourself. Well, different prisons do it different ways, but this time the gym screws came to the yard. Yeah, so we're all in the yard having exercise. Yeah, and Crash House, your father, wondered who wants to play football. And I just come out of the block. You know, all my joints were in bits. But I thought, you know what, let's see if I can get going for him. So I said, oh, yeah, me please, Gov. And another black guy said, yeah, I think there was one space left. Another black guy said, me please too. And so the governor put me down, and then he got there, he didn't like me, so he started going, yeah, fuck off, you cunt, yeah, you took my fucking place. So now, another funny thing before I say this part, you have to remember, yeah, in them days, old school. Who remembers the days of Borstal? Why did they? Why see Borstal? Who remembers the prison officers give you anything they wanted, didn't you? So if you were a size 26 waist, you'd be wearing 38. You baggy. Remember, they didn't give a shit. Sometimes they just wanted you to look a cunt, didn't they? On the way. Cry out your father. Bah! Yeah. Oh, didn't I? So I'd be baggy trousers. I weren't in no mood to fight. Just come out of the block. My joints are still in bits. And now I've had to fight this geezer. Oh, mate. So I'm fighting this geezer all of a sudden. The gym screws have blew the whistles. I'm all bent up again, back down the block. Next, I ain't been out one. I ain't been out a whole 24 hours yet. And the governor looked at me and went, Fish, come, mate. You've only been out one and you're back away. I said, Governor, it wasn't my fault. Listen, come here. Mate, I've gone out there. He didn't like the fact that I took his place of football. Or not, I didn't take his place at the gym, put me in. And he was on. I said, all I had to do was try and defend myself. So the governor goes, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I'll let you go this time. And boy, mate, come back before me again and you're in trouble. So that was my first real fight into prison life. And you also got to remember at this time, you got to remember me being gay. What you have to remember is, at this time, I was still 18. I knew I was kind of gay, but you're not sure. You're still thinking you can't be. It's impossible, especially them days because it was kind of taboo, and even amongst it's not like today where it's accepted and the flags are being waved and there's a load of a load of oil riggers on the Pride buses enjoying life. You get me? And people always make me laugh when it talks about being gay. I love being gay. I love being who I am. Because it's not something that you want to be or need to be, or it's just something that you are in life, I don't know what everyone goes, oh, Fish, what do you think makes you gay? Like, is it the food, or do you think of your mum, or do you think? And I always say, well, I think it's in the genes. Like Levi jeans. You see a big dick and you fancy it. That's the jeans I'm talking about. You see a pretty ass, I like pretty ass. So I think it is in the jeans. How's your father? Boss. So anyway, that was the first fight and induction into prison life for me. And anyway, so I got out, done it. I mean, and it was funny because I met Paul. And, it's weird, because in prison, you can make friends. And these friends can be your friends for life. And Paul, I love you, man. He's my friend. His wife, his kids, they're all my family. I mean, it's man, Karen Ranger, how are you? Louis Ranger, how are you? Yeah. Crash, yeah. Oh my God, she's gonna kill me. Kayla, fuck, I nearly fucked you up there. Kayla, how are you, baby? Kayla Ranger. Yeah, the Rangers. Crash. Yeah. So anyway, boss, yeah. My next prison, and this is always funny when I say, my next sentence was 21 months. Now what happened was I came back, when I got released from that last prison sentence, yeah, which hitting the policeman. They have 2 people, which I got 18 months for, yeah. So crash, when I got released, yeah, I got a job in a construction firm called Clark Construction, yeah. And I was working with their plumber, and we had a Harbin pump, you know, them pumps that you put down the drain and clear the blockages, yeah. And so crash, how's your father, yeah, we were working in Regent Street, a very, very expensive, rare bookshop. And because it was we were working in a very expensive, rare bookshop, the main plumber, yeah, who was in charge, didn't want to put too much pressure on the jet. So it backfired and ruined any of the books, yeah. So we're at this shop now, the whole 8 hours of the day, yeah, 8 o'clock, not 8 till 5:30. So we're there the whole day, and now we're there. It's 9 o'clock at night, so we're doing overtime, yeah. So crash, I'm getting young now, and we've been here all fucking day. This guy's not. So I've just gone on crash to the pressure, and you know what it was? It was a polystyrene cup. So all plumbers out there who know the game, crash, yeah. But what it was, yeah, I'm crash, yeah. It was a polystyrene cup, and you know, to get a polystyrene cup in it, plumbers out of a jar, mate, you have to have some pressure on that baby. So anyway, I came back from. I'd left work at 9 o'clock at night. I'm covered in shit, yeah, because we've been down this job all day. I'm tired and weary. And my friend had allowed me to stay in a house of his for renting a house. Now, when I got back home, the locks had been changed. Right? So obviously, the upstairs tenants, obviously have a disagreement with the landlord. Maybe they didn't like a spook. A spook is what we call black people. Yeah, having a cast. They come out at night and boo. Cry, yeah. They used to call us spooks in the old day, aren't we? Boo! Cry, yeah. So anyway, yeah. Bah! So anyway, now, yeah, I come home, put the key in, no key don't work, knock the door. Lady came round and Joey, this is what I hate again. This is what I hate it. I'm polite, for and respectful. This is why I always hate it. So she came there and said, I said, excuse me, I can't get in. She said, yeah, you can't come in at the moment. The bailiff's to be asked. I said, all right, not an issue. I said, do me a favour. Let me just go to my room, get something like that. And this is exactly the intention I had. Because I'm tired. I don't want to fight. I'm not here. Mate, it's not an issue. If you go in there, I can't come in. No big deal. But just let me get my clothes. My mate lives around the corner. And I can just go to work tomorrow. She went, no. So I pushed the door and she slapped me, yeah? And so I slapped her back. Now, if those of you who live in Ealing, W5 will know, Wimborne Road, you will know it's a very affluent area. And so crash, the old bill have come in, you know, and they've seen a black man. We have to keep it a black man because really I'd say a nignog, you know, because that's how they viewed it, a nignog. But because we're in woke, yeah, and we don't want to be cancelled, yeah, I have to say the police came and saw a young black man, yeah, a multicultural, ethnic young man, yeah. Gotta keep it woke, baby. Gotta keep it woke, man. Yeah. And they come and at first they were going to give me a hiding, you know, for the fucking affluent, upper class Ealing community, white community. And then they saw the boxing trophies on the wall, and they were, hang on. So, but now I hit a policewoman on the head in 1983, yeah, with 2 balls. Now that's a policewoman doing her job. Now, really, by rights, I should have got 5 years, 10 years for that. It's a Libby, yeah. I didn't know the game. I wasn't even thinking about what I was doing. I was young, inexperienced, not like I am today. And I didn't really hate police. It was just I was in charge of a big gang. He was one of our gang members. And you know what I'm like, boys? We all come home together. Yeah, one for all. I've always been that way. And so when I went to court this time, he gave me 21 months, but I was now 21, so I have to go to Wandsworth. Now, Wandsworth for me, yeah. I mean, Wandsworth, what a lot of people don't understand about Wandsworth Prison in 1986. Wandsworth Prison before Belmarsh, yeah, because Belmarsh wasn't built then. So Wandsworth Prison was the flagship prison. It was the Prison Officers Association flagship. No one fucked with prison officers or the prison service in Wandsworth. Let me tell you, they weren't having it. People died in Wandsworth. Yeah, prison officers killed people in Wandsworth. I can't. You can't bring proof, but hey, if you know, you know. And people in the game, and ex-conmen, ex-prisoners, all the old villains, and if you've been in one, you know it. When they want to take you out, they take you out. It's that simple. That's the power that they have. And that's what people need to understand, how powerful the prison service, the police service, and other members of the Crown's establishment, the Crown's representative, how powerful these people are. Okay? And so, Crash, I've gone to Wandsworth. Now, I'm shitting myself. I'm bricking myself. Mate, here I am, a little Sammy the Peanut, black boy, walking along the story of life, getting floating, plumbing, trying to do urinals, crying. I'm now in fucking prison, mate. I don't know no one. I'm not. I was a peanut. I'm still a peanut. Then I don't know anyone. I'm absolutely shitting myself. Now, Wandsworth Prison, as I just said to you, was the main prison. It was the flagship, the starship. They took ACATs, AAA cats. They took the mentally insane. They took, before they went to Broadmoor, before they went to other mental, they was down it. They might have been in prison fur, and so they had everybody in there. Everybody, all the top villains, the ACATs, the BCAT. Them days it was all mixed. Whereas now, because of Belmar, and this is why a lot of youngsters have the problem with the game now, but I'll come back to that in a minute. Crowd. And so, Wandsworth, mate. I don't know why people hate prison, mate. For me, it was like, crap. And Wandsworth prison officers were all 6'7", all ex-military, all fit as fuck, all on it. Mate, on it. There's a lot of racial tension. Not racist, because they come from up north, the north coming out. They come from all that way. They was on it. And anyone, all the old villains who've been to Wandsworth, do you remember the Star? When you walked across the Star there, the Star, as you came, so when you came through reception in Wandsworth, yeah, what happened was you come in, and as you come into the main prison, they've got a Star. And nobody, apart from the prison officers themselves, can walk on the Star. And for years, I never knew why. And then one day I asked the prison officer, and he said, well, Fish, if one prisoner wants to start a riot, he said, if you go to the left, the right, or I've rented any point of the Star, but not in the middle, if you signal right, only half the prison can see you. But if you walk on the centre of the Star, the whole prison can see you, and you can form a riot. And because that was in their mind, anybody and anyone who's been at Wandsworth Prison in the old days, they'll all write comment. And remember, anyone who went on that Star, whether you walked accidentally, unknowingly, or on purpose, oh my God, did you get rushed? And a lot of people who haven't been in prison for walked on accidentally, remember, they was in fear for the rest of their life. They just didn't. When they jumped you in one of them. And Wandsworth was the one, baby. Oh, trap, sublime, trap. Oh, Wandsworth, brilliant. And so, they put me in A9 or A10 now. So anyway, I'm just a peanut now. But unbeknown to, and this is the most maddest story, the most maddest part of my prison. Look, I'm trying to tell you, I was just a nobody. And I'm in a nobody, an absolute nobody. But unbeknown to me, they have put me next to Frankie Fraser. Now, I don't know this. I don't even know who fucking Frankie Fraser was. I'm not going to lie. Didn't know. Yeah. Now, only after years later did I understand who he was. But this is the maddest part of my life again. That is just unreal. So anyway, I'm just going about my prison now. You don't remember, I'm shitting myself. So I'm respectful to the prisoners. I'm respectful. I'm not really coming up myself. I didn't know anyone to walk around with. That's how much of a peanut I was. And Crash, you know, I was walking out. But in 1986, it was slop out days, yeah? And slop out means you had to poo and shit in a potty. And then in the morning, when the officers unlocked you, it's called slop out. You went to the toilet, the recess. You emptied your shit into the hole, whatever. Then you any piss, had a piss and that, went back to your cell and then banged up again. And they let you out for breakfast and that, yeah? But slop out was also the time if you wanted to get a prison officer or you wanted to get someone else and throw shit all over them and shit them up. That was also the time we'd done it. Yeah. So it was a very pure tension during slop out. You never knew who was going to get it and who weren't. I'm lucky I never got it, but maybe because I was this colour, they think I'd already had it. Boom! So anyway, yeah. So I've come out every morning. Now remember I told him, and there was an officer, Mr. Abson. This is why I'll never forget his name. He had a beard. I don't know if he was new, but you know what? It was quite funny. He was in a blue shirt and he was of the military, but he was, you know, sometimes you get them military men who, even though they're on it, but they're laid back, you know, like they're chilled, you know, like, yeah, they're all right, you know? And that's the thing. In any police force, prison force, family, the royal family, some of them are all right, some of them, that's just life, that's families, that's people, that's communities. Good ones, bad ones, that's life, yeah? Crash, yeah, how's your father? Oh, yeah? So, boom. So I'm now going to slop out, yeah? Potty in hand, out the cell. I'm going to slop out, and there's an officer. No, there's an officer outside the recess in case he has to blow the whistle, you know, he has to keep control. And I used to go to this officer every time. Oh, good morning to you, sir. And I go in, slop out. I come back and I say, thank you, sir. And then this happened for about 2 weeks, I always, yeah. And then one day, and I still at this time, I don't know that I am banged up in A9 and Frankie Fraser was in A10, or I was in A10, and about his grandson, yeah, he will be able to tell you, because his grandson from Brighton, he got hold of me when I first said this story, and people saying, I said, but he can verify it, yeah? And then again, I was back in 96, and 96, I think it was for the coup gangs, Frankie and his son together. And I'm sure I took Frankie's son on the pad. I can't verify that or make that true point, but I hope Frankie Fraser's grandson asked his son, and then maybe he might remember. But anyway, Crash, how's your father? I don't know Frankie Fraser. I've never heard of Frankie. I'm not a villain. I was a geezer on a Harbin pump, right, clearing drains, going down manholes. I don't know nothing about criminality. This time I never smoked a zoot. I couldn't even tell you what a spliff was. I couldn't even tell you what cocaine was. I'm not in it. I'm just a peanut travelling along the story of life. Let's get it right. And one day, I'm coming out, and one day, this prison officer, as I'm going to stop out, Mr. Up, says to me, Fish? I said, yeah. He said, I don't get it. I said, what's that, sir? He said, I don't understand. I said, what, sir? What's he done? He goes, every morning, you're in prison, you know, you're supposed to be sad and disappointed and down. But every morning, yeah, you come out to me, you smile, you treat me with respect, you say, good morning, sir. Yeah, you slop out, you go back and say, thank you, sir. He said, I don't get it. And I said, sir, with respect to you, it's all about the 2 R's, sir. So he looked at me now, he's kind of like, what the fuck is this black? Oh, no. I can't say black C-U-N-T because that's choke. We can't do choke. We got to do woke, yeah? So he's thinking, what the fuck is this black, young, multicultural, ethnic, not immigrant. Let's not get too woke, all right? Let's not get too woke. Ethnic minority young man. Woke, baby! I'm woken up, wee! Oh, it's Marvin Herbert, but hooray! So, yeah. So, Kraz, I said, it's all about the 2 R's. So, yeah. So, I said, you're one day nearer to retirement. No, sorry, he said to me, the 2 R's, Fish, what's the 2 R's? And I said, sir, you're one day nearer to retirement, and I'm one day nearer to release. We'll both be free, sir. Good day to you. And yeah, he smiled and I laughed. But now, remember, stop out's there. I'm on A9. I'm the first sort of door to the stop out. And Frankie Fraser, God bless his soul, he's in 18. Now, Frankie heard me say this to the officer. And I went back in my cell. I was going back and he said, come here, son. Now, remember, you got to remember, I do not know this man. He's 5'4", slick hair, his shirt down at the top, always well dressed. But I didn't know who he was. Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah. So he said, come here, young man. Come here, son. You know, Frankie, he had all the lines in his face. He was like that. Yeah, come here, son. He said, I like the way you deal with the screws. So he goes, come here. And he obviously knew I was a prison version. Now, and this is why, when people try and slag off Frankie Fraser, yeah, and put him down, I cannot condone anything that he's done. Just like if it was the other way, people can't always condone what I've done. I'm not here for that. But I can only tell you that man, and for me, he taught me the best things about in my life. But that's why I give him his due, because people like Frankie Fraser are not supposed to be having it with peanuts like me. So that shows you the real stamp of a man. You know, he picked me. Like, no one forced him there. He didn't have to. He was a very, you know what? For anyone who served prison with Frankie would walk around the yard with you willing to. But really, when you think about it, he was always in his cell, in it on his eye. He was a quiet man. He was a reserved man, Frankie. That's what people don't really understand. He wasn't, you know, he wasn't a flash. I mean, don't get me wrong. When the officer tried to badmouth him, don't get me wrong, he was a live wire. Maybe that's why I am today. I'm a live wire. Maybe it's down to Frankie. But let me tell you, I'm the same as Frankie. I've had my hidings, yeah. But Frankie, he said, come here, son, yeah. And he took me into his cell. Now, I'm telling you, yeah, this is why when people tell me, when I talk about Frankie Fraser, they're like, listen, let me tell you, man, I was in bed with Frankie Fraser. And that's why I love his grandson. And his boy was banged up with Frankie Fraser over the cougar. So his boy will testify to you. Let me tell you, Frankie Fraser's cell was spotless. It was spotless. And it was limited. There was very few, if anything, in Frankie Fraser. Let me tell you now, all these people, oh, Frankie Fraser, digging it. Let me tell you about this man, yeah? Let me tell you about this man. From a peanut, not from a criminal's one. From about a peanut's point of view, yeah? He took me under. He said, come here. And I went in his cell. And remember, I don't know his. And even after he told me all this, I still didn't know who he was. And I remember, because I weren't in the game, when he was walking around the circles, there were 3 circles in one. The wide circle, the inner and the centre. The centre, Frankie Fraser and people like Lenny McLean and all the others, they walked that circle. And then you had their lieutenants that were in the game, and then you had the outside for peanuts like me, dickheads, Pona dick, yeah? We were on the outside. So I never knew that. So Frankie now said, listen, Fish. No, he didn't say Fish, he didn't know me. He said, come here, son. So he asked my name, I said, oh, Andrew, blah, blah, yeah, Andrew Brown, you know the rules. Yeah? So he said, listen here, I like you, kid. I like the way you handle the screws. He said, you're right. I was like, I still shitting myself, not that, but hey, for me, it was like, well, at least there was someone to talk to in the prison. He said, right, you done Bird before? I said, no, sir. So I didn't know his name. He called me Frank. I didn't know his name. I didn't know who he was. He said, call me Frank, son. So I was like, all right, Frank. So he said, you have to sit down on the bed now. Let me tell you, yeah, you people don't understand what I'm saying here. Because everyone tries to slag Frankie, and everyone tries to put Frankie Fraser in there. But listen, let me tell you, his bed was. He said, sit down, son. He said, have you done Bird before? I said, no, sir. He said, Frank. I said, no, Frank. And he said, right, listen to me very good. And this is why I owe Frankie Fraser everything. And it's mad because I didn't know who he was. It's mad, isn't it? And yet he gave me the one gift that I would need later on in life. Isn't it mad? So anyway, yeah, he said to me, right, the first thing to understand, yeah, is don't let them lot out there bully you. Stand up for yourself, okay? That's the first thing. So the second thing is yourself. He said, never, ever have anything other than a Roberts radio. And this is why I say when people go, oh, yeah, you haven't banged up for me, you go and see his son. Remember when they got there? Go and see his son, maybe ask his grandson. he had a Roberts radio. Now, let me explain something, why it's very important that I tell you about Frankie Fraser owning a Roberts radio. Because the Roberts radio, back in them days, as any prisoner, any old fella would tell you, it was the creme de la creme of radios, didn't it? Yeah? It was the top radio you could buy. You put the square PP9 in it. And when you were in trouble, you use that square big PP9 to whack someone over the head. But that's what Frankie had. And all he ever read was a newspaper. Apart from that, the cell was spotless. He had a box under the bed. And he told me, never, ever put pictures on the wall. Never put anything on the wall. Always keep your letters folded up and inside a box, yeah? All right? Keep any belongings you have inside that box, okay? That's what he told me. And he said, because when the screws come to take you down the block or you piss them off and they want to come and smash all your photos up and you rip all your toiletry and all that belonging, he goes, once it's in a box, they can't do that, yeah? And that, listen, that stuck with me. He said, always treat the ones who respect you with respect, but he goes, the other ones, fuck them off. That was Frankie, yeah? That was his education to me. Never have that. And that rule, Frankie, up there now, I'll always love you, because that has stood with me right up to date, because I can still get nicked tomorrow. Remember, I'm on 99 years license, yeah? And it's a hard license, yeah? They're asking me, ringing me up my phone sometimes. Oh, Fish, why are you at Luton Airport? Why are you at this airport? I said, mate, I'm on a number 29 bus. Well, someone's put in with your idea. I goes, mate, well, you got CCTV, you got cameras. Why are you ringing me? Yeah, check to see to get the camera, the probation, so ringing me, asking me what. So the only great thing that comes out of all that is at least I know they are on me. You know what I mean? And that's the problem with the 99-year sentence. Yeah, most people, 99-year sentence kills them. You can be a serial rapist. You could be a fucking a serial killer. You could be a murderer, and you could be a 2 life. You could be a recommended 35-year recommended sentence. Still, at least you know when you are getting released. But we, the 99ers, as I call us, the IPPs, indeterminate public protection, we never ever, right, know what date we're getting released. And even when we get released, we're not released, because they can come and nick me right now at any time they like and hold me in prison till the end of my life. That is a 99-year-old sentence. That's what I got to live with every single day of my life. And you know what? Some people, it's killed them. They're mentally ill now. They're turned into psychopaths. They don't want to get out. They've lost their family, their kids. One boy punched his dad in the face. You might have known. His dad thought, I'm going to call the police to teach him a lesson. Let me tell you something. Here's the lesson his dad got taught. He got a 23-day IPP, and he has done 18 years. Understand what that does to your brain. You think you're coming out in 23 days, and now you've been in prison, mate. This is a naughty sentence. It's been abolished, but they're still kept us on it. Yeah, so I understand what I'm trying to tell you here. People see me walking about, but only because I got balls. Because you see, the sentence don't bother me. Because see me where I'm from, yeah, crash, yeah, bosh, yeah, where I'm from. Look, if you're going to commit crime, you commit crime. Whether you're on IPP or not, it makes no difference to me. No difference to me. And that's why I love Gary Millsy, yeah, and Trevor McCarthy, my boy, 2 pals I love. Well, you know what? Gary, on it, a soldier, proper, boss, on it, yeah. And I'm the same, we're on it. Yeah, if we have to do what we got to do, forget the 99, yeah, that's triviality. Listen, if you're got to do something, do it. I'm about the sentence. But another thing about the sentence was, and I warned the Home Secretary about this, and this is the part that people, remember, they brought in the 99-year indeterminate public protection, yeah, to protect the public from dangerous criminals, right? Well, the geezer hit his dad, who was near money. How dangerous is he? Never had a criminal record before. How dangerous, mate, they take the piss. They didn't know what they were doing with the sentence, yeah? But for me, I told the Home Office, and I told my mate, look, this sentence is not protecting the public, because there's the problem. If you upset me now, yeah, in the old days before this sentence was given to me, if you upset me now, I could shout at you, go, listen here, you cunt. Come and fucking see me before I fucking do this offer, or I'll come and give you a... I don't give a fuck. I love everything you ever loved, heard, seen, and touched. Crash, yeah? Yeah? That was at least you had a warning. So you could go to the police or do whatever you want, or get your boys, come and shoot me. But at least you had a warning, yeah? But now, you give me the you got no warning. You got no warning. I just come. There's no warning. There's no, oh yeah, you upset me. There's nothing. We're now like the Secret Services. We just come, we do what we have to do and walk away. There's no calling card. There's no labels. There's nothing to even suggest that we've been. And that's the problem with the sentence. They have put the public in more danger. They haven't, this sentence is not protecting the public. This sentence is putting the public in danger, because an IPP serving prisoner who's doing 99 years, whose licence is risked to life and limb, cannot no more threaten you. He can't threaten you in any way, shape or form. And so that's the problem. When he comes undercover. That's the problem. Or he sends someone else in his place. That's the problem. So anyway, so Frankie taught me. Everything goes in a box. And Frankie taught me, man. Oh, I love him for that. And so that has lived with me all my life, man. And then another time, yeah. So I remember, now I told you, before Belmarsh Wandsworth was the Senate. So we're on the landing one day, you know, and there was an officer called Mr. Stewart. Now, Mr. Stewart was from the blue shirt days, and you everyone remember Mr. Stewart. Remember, he had the funny leg, the gammy leg. Remember Mr. Stewart, proper officer, I mean, chest out, proper hard man, Mr. Stewart. Fair play, and a G. We got like. But let me tell you what happened first. I'm on the landing one day, and what happened was, crash. There was a block screw called Mr. Morris. Oh, he was fucking 6'9", built like, and a head like that, built of a Rottweiler. He made a Rottweiler's head look small. This guy was on it, yeah, mate. He was like he was like a number one henchman for them, yeah. He was on it. And one day we're down the landing, we was on, I forgot, B wing, and he came down, association, and our wing officers normally call it, right, association over, back to yourselves. But none of our wing callers called it. And then he came down the stairs on his own, yeah. There was no trouble, no alarm, and he went, right, all you lot, get right now. You know what I am. That didn't even hurt. The way it was, he went up to this black kid. Now, this black kid, you know, it's his first time in prison. And he went, the black kid was still playing table tennis because he didn't really hear, and it wasn't our wing officers, yeah? So Mr. Morris went up to him and go, you come here. Yeah. You know, the dark area, and stood on his foot. He goes, stay there. Yeah. So now, you know I don't do bullies. So now I'm going, one of them one there. No issue, not an issue. So I've gone up to her. So, so you know when you say you know when you say get behind the door. Yeah. Do you mean this side of the door or that side of the door? And I could feel everybody, yeah. I could feel everyone on the wing looking at me like, Fish, what the fuck are you doing? Are you on a suicide mission? Cry. How's your father? Balls. Yeah. I could hear, I could feel it. And then Mr. Morris let go of the key. You get away. He went to me and you get to your cell now. So anyway, I'm in the cell. But that time we were in a 4-man cell. Who remembers in one, remember banged up with four. Pure Al-Qaeda business, you know. Pure ISIS, pure terrorist cell, you get me? So anyway, yeah, ball, yeah. Mr. Morris then comes to say, next morning, he comes and says, he goes, you, yeah, come out here. So I goes, yes, sir. He went, I know you think we're mugs. I said, I don't think you're mugs, sir. He went, what'd you call me? What'd you call me? You've done any excuse to punch my fucking head in, yeah? So he goes, well, let me tell you now, yeah. In a minute, me and my boys are going to come and hurt you. Right? So fucking get back in there. So listen, I told you. I always respect police. I always respect prisoners. I always respect the crown. I do. Yeah? Because I understand their role, the representative, and I understand the crown. So I love my country. I love my king. I love my queen. I love the royal family. Listen, they gave me everything I have today. Yeah? Regardless whether you like it or not, if you go into it and you got to understand the power of where we live. Yeah? Understand what the crown's representative, the military, the servicemen, the secrets, are all representative of the crown. Understand how they keep us safe. Safe. That's it. Yeah? So you have to know and understand about the crown. All this, fuck the crown, fuck, mate. You're idiots. You don't understand the small rooms, the Winchester rooms, the cigar smokers, the men who drink the brandy, the men who are dying for us each day, our children that have to go out on the Crown's orders to go and do what they have to do, and some might not come back alive. And that's just so me and you can live to eat and sleep and dream to live another day. So understand. But sometimes if the Crown goes too far, then I have to go far. And so it's the first time, one of the very few times, I don't know if you know, but one of the very few I've ever put it on a prisoner. And I said to him, I said, listen here, Mr. Morris, yeah, let me tell you something now, yeah. Let me tell you something now, Mr. Morris, yeah. You and your boys will come down here, yeah, and you will hurt me, yeah. But let me tell you something now, yeah. I'm not like these cunts in here, sitting down, bandana. I'll go through the buttons, yeah. I'll go through the buttons, yeah. And I said, I'll find out where you are, where you live. And I'll go to my private eye. And I said, I won't hurt you. I'll kill you. Trust me, I'll kill you. And so he said, right, get back in there, Brown. So anyway, I'm waiting for him now, so I'm fucking in the cell. I'm getting ready for you, mate. If you're gonna die, let's die happy, you get me? So I'm getting ready. All the boys were going fish, man. I'm in a 3-man, 4-man, so the boys can fish. You need to do something, man. He's gonna do it, he's gonna hurt you. I said, mate, if you have to die, let's die, you get me? It's not an issue. It's not an issue. So anyway, the door never came in, and he never come back. It was quite surprising because Mr. Morris is normally a man of his word. So, Crash, how's your father? Yeah, they opened the door for lunch, and went out to lunch, and I saw the man on the survey, the kids on the survey. They knew me now. Now I'm in the game, yeah. And so, one of the survey was like, fish. Mr. Morris tried to call the screws to come down and beat you up. But they said, no, they refused because they said, your boys are down the road. Because at that time, yeah, I had my security company and Wanderers was there, but we lived in Fulham. So they were saying, fuck that. And sometimes my doorman used to come up and they were all the same size as Mr. Morris, you get me? So Crash, yeah, they knew I was, and one of the prisoners was in my security. And they see me at work in the ladies, and they knew what I was about, you get me? So Mr. Morris, slibbly-dibbly whips, trips, gone, yeah. So then, but what they've done, they've moved me to another cell. And they've moved, looks like there's 2 minutes on the clock, so I'm going to try and finish. They moved me to another cell, yeah, and put me with this tramp who didn't wash, didn't eat. But see where I'm from, yeah, everyone deserves to be looked after. So he was an old trotter, you know, but he had no family. I washed his plates, okay, and I talked to him because, you know what it is? I talked to him going around the yard and I looked after him because I want to know his story because everyone's got a story. But the prison officers are kind of like, how come that black no-good monkey woke? How come that young black ethnic minority young man, schooled young man. Whoa, yeah. Yeah. He's talking to this guy. He's supposed to be angry. He's supposed to be... So anyway, now they didn't know that word. Mr. Stewart, I was going canteen, and Mr. Stewart shouted, "Fish!" I was leaning on the railing. "Get off the bars, you monkey." So I went, "Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, I like being a monkey." He went, "You stink like one too." So I went, "Ooh, ooh, ooh. I bet I do." So we got our canteen, and you go back to your cell and you bang up, and then they let off the next lot so we can't get robbed and all that. But after we got long at that let out for association, the officers all used to gather. They got landing offices on each landing, yeah? So they might have 3 landings, and each landing's got their office where the screws congregate and then hand out the applications, or you go there if you've got anything to report you. And so they was all in there, yeah? And I've knocked the door. Now remember, he called me a monkey, so I've knocked the door. And they all know what I'm coming there for. They all know what happened, yeah? So I goes, "Yeah, what do you want, fish?" So I went, today, sir. And now this time it had changed from blue shirts to the white administration. I said, today, sir, one of the white shirt administration, yeah? So that's the prison officers. I knew they were that wear white shirts, yeah? No one in the prison could wear white. One of the white shirt administration today, sir, said I look and stink like a monkey. Now, sir, this didn't really hurt me. It more confused me because, you see, sir, I thought he was a prison officer and not a zookeeper. Oi, and even Mr. Stewart came out, shook my hand. I'm telling you, from that day on, we got my house on fire. Because they realised, listen, I'm not this guy who's up my own arse who thinks I'm some bad boy. Yeah, you put a fucking tramp in my house. Listen, I get on with the tramp. Mate, it's not his fault he's a tramp. It's not my fault he can't live and wash. I get on with him. Mate, I learned something from him as well. I learned something from him. Yeah, I learned. That's it. That's life. Yeah, mate, the clock's running. I'm afraid it's gone to an hour. Now I've got more stories. I'm going to have to do a part 2. So, you know what? See you soon with the loon. Cry! Bah! It didn't go off. All right, it still ain't gone off.